Hi Ron, it's Egi from Poland. We met in 2002 at St. Hill, and I fell in love with you. I remember you standing at the window. I have some problems with recording, and there have been a lot of interference in our relation. Anyway, I fell in love the moment I met you. I think the Sioux did their best to separate us, to destroy whatsoever possibility of our being together. I have only 2 minutes. Listen, I did not accuse you of molestation. I did inform about you actually. I don't even know if you touched me or not, but the sparkle went, when you were lighting the cigarette. And I was generally, I could not really handle it because this feeling was so strong. There was no sexuality involved, but I think they did trigger some kind of sexuality later on. So I believe that there are some people in the CEO who are responsible for it. And I'm not sure about your best friend at that time, also the auditor. I think she has pushed her sexual life with you later on when I was on the ETF into my makeup. Listen, I resigned when I learned that you were married. I found you in Facebook, and I thought, well, okay, then that's obviously not my husband. But we live on, and I believe you have been messed up, and I believe we can meet one day again. So, survive. Hi Ron, back to you. Listen, there are some points still. I know that you are at the level of Rothschilds. I remember one of the women who were in your circle when we were at St. Hill in 2002. I think it was still before they recruited me for the Sea Org. And I saw her picture on the Rothschild side later on. And then I saw a woman who looked pretty much like your wife. So perhaps it was not exactly the Sea Org who made sure we would not stay together. But whichever is the situation, I hear that I hear all sorts of things. So just to cut through this, that you are going to defend and protect Alexandra Kicha, who is in a deadly conflict with me because she's responsible for me dying, actually, personally responsible, through her lies, through all her activity. It's very difficult to determine how it. Of course, it's your choice, and you are free to choose whichever you want to choose. Okay, so there are 2 lines. There is one line which is Maya Rostowska, who wanted to turn me into her slave, and obviously I could not agree to that, so we have the conflict. Alpha, alpha. So this is one thing. From my perspective, she could be my opponent in the election for presidency of Poland. Then we have Alexandra Kicha's sister, who was close to one of the parties, and one of the leaders is the president. Okay, Ron, back to you. Still smoking. More data on Alexandra Kicha. She was she's my former pupil. After I stopped teaching at school, I took her under my wings, so to say, because she addressed me with her problem one day when she started crying, and it moved my heart. So she was one of those pupils that stay in your life in a way. And we became friends. And apparently there are differences concerning the situation. That is, she thinks that she was doing some service to me, while I'm pretty certain that there are different levels. So actually it was a huge honor for her to have a friend in me. Anyway, around 2007, I think, I was interested in Radio Talk FM, and one of the journalists was specializing in movie music. And I loved the program. So I said, well, you must listen to it. And she sent a mail to him, like, oh man, what a voice you have, something like that, you know, a pickup. And then she met with him, and after some time she started dating a stripteaser with the name Victor. And during the first date, she went for it fully. So we may differ in our opinions on that, but for me it was a complete shock. I should have stopped the relationship with her immediately, but I did not, because it had been going on for years. I was really scared what might come out of it. I didn't think he was a prostitute then, and I was so hopeful, but on the whole this is the story. So she lost her virginity then, and perhaps he gave her the root. Now, the development of the situation is there was an ARC break, because when she told me about having sex with him, I was in shock, and she started crying, and she said that it was a shame to be a disgrace to be a virgin at the age of 20. Well, I was over 30 and still a virgin. So it was terribly difficult for me, but I decided not to invalidate her and somehow, I don't know, live with it. But it was getting worse and worse, and I believe this is because of all that she had been, all that she was doing and saying behind my back. She's probably not the one, because she was in her circle, which included another best friend of mine, also my former pupil, but we are not talking about that. I cannot talk about her because I did an assist to her, and I did OW's handling with her. So, for obvious reasons, I do not attack her. But was it successful? Not to the degree that mine was. So I'm not quite certain about it, but I mean, you know, I did my best. And you know, then in 2011, in December, I had a situation of someone impersonating me in the internet. I found in some very suspicious mail in my email accounts that directed, that were coming from a pornographic world. And I reported it to the police. I did not want to go to the police for obvious reasons, but I had no choice. I knew I was being framed. And then she came to me and she wanted to humiliate me, to compromise me, you know, at that time. So basically I called her because I wanted to lend some money before the Christmas time, the New Year time actually, the New Year's Eve. Well, she agreed to come immediately, which was quite shocking. I was not aware of whatsoever. I mean, I felt that there was something wrong in our relationship, but I felt that it was on her side, you know, the neglect, because I started having problems in 2009, and it seemed pretty much that the moment I started having problems, my friends started moving away. So I drew conclusions about the kind of friendship it was. Still, I did not suspect any covert hostility actions on her part, and I believe there had been before December 2011, when I recorded later. For example, one day she came to my flat. When she came to my flat, she took a picture of my bed, which was pretty weird. I asked her what she was doing, and she said that she was setting the camera. I think she might have had some other intentions. And then, when she came in December, it looked pretty much, she moved to me with her breast, you know, like having her breast at the level of my nose. And it seems to me that she was perhaps synchronizing some recording device. So I believe she recorded the whole conversation, and the way she was, I'm usually, you know, listening, and when I have this sort of relationship, and sometimes I talk a lot, but this is depending on the situation. And and she was trying to get information from me, like, you know, she was putting something forward, and then I was supposed to say something that would reveal me and compromise me. So this is Alexandra Klicharudi. A few words, a few words to the mail operator at St. Hill, AOSH UK, at what's next, Scientology net, or what is it? I don't recall right now. Why am I sending you so not upstart videos? Because the upstart is not in the appearance, so they are actually very upstart, and you need to understand it. Listen, it depends on you what you're going to do with the videos I have sent you or the notes I have sent you. I'm not sure if they are reaching you because there are some bias on the way. But if they are reaching you, and if it's you who stops them, or whoever else on the, as it goes from one terminal to another organizationally, then it's not good, because these are vital things. And trust me, the scope of overt that has been committed against me by the Church of Scientology, starting with your organization, unless it had started with the headquarters in LA, which is also possible, is such that it's of a cosmic value. So if you don't handle this situation, where handling is not you creating false data, but you confronting the scope of the overt, the murder on a natural 4.0. So if it's okay, it means that the organization is totally confused, and the confusion is total. You don't understand Scientology at all. So get back to your basics and do it. Now, in terms of data, this is the photo or a copy, modified copy of a photo that I left in the American consulate in Krakow in 2005 when I was applying for the USA visa. I got it without any problem, and the welcome was warm. I do not think they would mind if I stayed in the United States forever. The situation has changed drastically. Now, the point is that I got this photo back in my drawer one day, so someone broke into my flat. It can be the American consulate in Krakow or the CIA directly, or it can be or via the police, or it can be the radio Talk FM, where I sent this picture when there was a blue march organized by the civic platform, and then I wrote a letter about creating a new space which was supposed to be totally different from what they have arrived at, and I sent this picture. So another possibility is that they passed it on to the organization. Now, it has been modified when it got back to my drawer from the original. This is the photo I have in my ID card right now. It was impossible to get a better photo. Now, this is the document proving I sent the case to the Ministry of Justice and it was received. Show me the guilty person who does it. It's the 9th of September 2018. Hello, it's Agnieszka again. I know if the changes in my life are related to you wanting to get rid of me after the 5-year period of ARC break, that is in 2008, then I really regret that I invested the money inherited from my dad in you, in being with you, in learning from you. because I would have gone to Paris to sip my coffee in a street cafe and read novels, by the way, to create my beingness as a writer, as a novelist, storyteller, and poetess, actually. And I would have had a lot left. Truly, I had never ever had such environment as the one I have now. I am merged with a male prostitute, and it's probably Tom Cruise who merged me with him. It might be that he is covering his past. Whatever is the reason, is unforgivable and won't be forgiven. Still, today I have been to the Wawel Royal Castle, to the Holy Mass in the Royal Cathedral, and finally I had a feeling that there was a priest giving a sermon to this young queen. Maybe it's because Queen Jadwiga is buried there. So I have come back to the Wawel Royal Castle, where my problems in Poland started with the conflict at the Wawel Royal Castle. I see how it develops. All the same, if the reason for all the changes taking place is you trying to get me out of your profiles since 2008, then you are really not worth investing.